Hello and welcome to a new vlog and trip report. Today we're taking a look at the Taunus Railway. We are going from Frankfurt main station to Limburg, and here on the map you can see our route. We're taking a closer look at the route in the animation, so we're starting at the main station of Frankfurt and then we're heading to Frankfurt Höchst, Hofheim, Nidenhausen, Idstein, Wörsdorf, Bad Camberg, Niederselters, Oberbrechen, Niederbrechen, Lindenholzhausen, Eschhofen, and then finally on to Limburg. On our way we are crossing the mountain range of the Taunus, which gives the name to the railway line, which is also called Main-Lahn Railway, as it's also connecting the rivers Main and Lahn. We're traveling in Dostos, double-decker carriages of Deutsche Bahn. And now we can take a look at the arrival of our train, and of course then we're gonna take a closer look at the interior of this train. Our train should be operated by a locomotive of the class 146, but due to a locomotive shortage, they are again using the classes 143, 112 and, like in my case, 114. Here we can see the so-called idea train. This is a mock-up of how future trains could look like. All trains here on this line have one carriage, which is the idea train. In the upper deck of the idea train you can find the first class, which is also very nice. As you can see, the train has been modernized. Also, second class is modernized with new seats, new lighting, looking pretty nice. And of course we're going to take a closer look at the features in a second class in a second. Today we're traveling with the RB22, which is always operated by the Dostos. Here we are in another second class carriage, and now we can take a look at the features. There are luggage racks available. The seat pitch is pretty nice and the seats are also quite nice and comfortable. Not the most comfortable seats, but also definitely not uncomfortable. Unfortunately, there are no tables available, neither in the airline style seats nor in the base of 4, but power sockets are indeed available. In my opinion, this renovation of the trains is quite nice. They are looking very beautiful, they're looking quite nice and modern, and depending on which seats were used before the renovation, also the seats can be an upgrade and for sure are not a downgrade. We have just left the main station of Frankfurt and now we're heading to our first stop, Frankfurt Höchst. There are two possible ways to get there. We could use our railway line, the Taunus Strecke, or also the Taunus Eisenbahn. Taunus Eisenbahn would be translated to Taunus Railway, and to be very precise, Taunus Strecke would be translated to Taunus Track, but that's a bit confusing. That's also why the railway line we are taking a look at today is not only called Taunus Strecke but also Main-Lahn Bahn, Main-Lahn Railway, as there are two railway lines right next to each other with almost the same name. Both of them are going to Frankfurt Höchst, just using different routes, which are about the same length. And here we are in Frankfurt Höchst, and from here we are now continuing on to Limburg on our Taunus Railway. We're leaving the other Taunus Railway soon after passing the industrial area of Frankfurt Höchst, and then we're going through a few stops without stopping. Our next stop is at Hofheim, and then we're going through the mountain range of the Taunus, and behind it we're stopping again in Nidenhausen. There are also some stops in between there, but also there we're not stopping, and that's because there is an S-Bahn train running parallel with us, so it is part of the railway line. We're only stopping at the most important stations. Nidenhausen is one of the most important stations because there you have a connection to Wiesbaden. And Nidenhausen is also the end of the S-Bahn. Here we are in Idstein. Idstein received a new tunnel in 2013 as it was cheaper to build a new one instead of renovating the old one. Therefore we're now going through the rather new tunnel of Idstein, and then just a few minutes later we are approaching Nidenhausen. There we're meeting the so-called Lenchensbahn, the Lenchen Railway to Wiesbaden, and as I said, it's also the end of the S-Bahn line. That means that from there on we're stopping at all stations. Here we are meeting the Lenchens Railway, and then we are approaching the station of Nidenhausen. After that we're stopping in Idstein, Wörsdorf, Bad Camberg, Niederselters, Oberbrechen, Niederbrechen, Lindenholzhausen, finally Eschhofen, and then Limburg. So as I said, we're stopping at all stations. The Lenchensbahn is operated by the Hessische Landesbahn, usually with Lind 41, but interestingly today there was a Mireo in the colors of Bewegt, so not in the colors of the HLB, Hessische Landesbahn, so it seems like the train was chartered to the HLB. And we're now continuing on with stopping at all stations, going through a more flat landscape on our way to Limburg. Here in Eschhofen we are meeting the Lahn Valley Railway coming from Wetzlar, which was closed due to ongoing works in the moment I was traveling. And then we can see the high-speed line between Frankfurt and Cologne above us, as well as the motorway A3. And then we stopped for quite a while, just a few meters in front of the station of Limburg. From there we had a quite nice view of the Cathedral of Limburg, as there was still another train on our platform. That was a train that was supposed to be leaving already a long time ago, but apparently it broke down and was eventually cancelled. And so instead we pulled in on track 4, where I'm now leaving the train, and in the next video we will take a look at the Mireo of the Hessische Landesbahn on another very nice and beautiful railway line. Here you can see when this video will be uploaded and the name of the song as always. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to comment, like, subscribe or share the video link, and I hope to see you in my next video then.